Hi. Right. It's like Zoom calls, isn't it? Where you you do the call, you load on, you log in, and then you spend 5 minutes with everybody kind of saying, can you hear me? Can you see me? I can hear you, but I can't see me, or whatever. And that's what it's like with this for these live row-alongs. I can see myself here, and I can see the little bars going up and down, so all good so far. However, I don't know if this is going up to YouTube yet or not, so I need to refresh my email and get the link that comes on. Usually I get a little link saying now live on your channel, but strangely I haven't got that yet. Maybe I'm too quick, you never know. I watch live now, there you go. I got a little notification and it looks as though possibly it's all good, that I can see me. I think the delays kind of run about that 5 or 6 seconds that we normally get. Apologies for that, but it just basically, by the time the camera sends this to the Mac then pumps it up to the old internet, the squirrels play around with whatever it is that they do, and then it gets put onto YouTube. There's around about a 5 or 6 second delay. Doesn't really matter, it only really matters if you are using the EXR app at the same time as rowing along with me here, in which case there is going to be a tiny delay. So like when I say go, your countdown actually on the app will already have stopped, all right? So anyway, I am just going to put in a hello message to people, if anybody's here. I don't think anyone's watching right now. I don't know, possibly, there seems to be 5 people possibly watching, I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, right, so alarmingly, so far, everything has gone smoothly for setup, okay? So all of my lights have worked. It takes quite a lot of light to kind of light this up and get the green screen stuff to work. So all them worked. That was always a good sign. The Mac didn't. Oh, actually, I think the Mac's not on charge, so that's going to die if I don't. Ooh, there we go. Is that all right? Nothing. Yeah, cool. Because the little box that turns the. Oh, here's someone buzzing me. Robert Austin. Hi everyone on the evening row along. Hey, hey Robert. Yeah, so I've got a little box that turns the camera, my GH6 camera, into a USB signal that I can then stream online. And that is as flaky as well, I don't know what's particularly flaky. A Cadbury's flake, maybe. That would be a flaky thing. Yeah, that comes and goes the whole time, but that seemed to work first, like fine today. And then everything seems, and I mean, if I wave my hands around, it looks as though the frame rate for the YouTube stream is going well. So alarmingly, it's all working. So let's see, I've still got to connect the WaterRower. That's where it all goes down. That's where I remember one of the weeks making these, sorry, we've got like 15 minutes, basically, or 12 minutes to go until the start of the row. So this is why I'm just going to have to talk to you for a while. Do some light rowing if you wish, do some stretching, maybe have a cup of tea or something while we wait for the start if you're watching. But yeah, one of the rows I did, I completely forgot how to connect, not forgot, but I forgot there was a crucial step for connecting the smart row pulley to make it work with the EXR. Completely forgot, and I was like racing around, swapping out WaterRowers, and eventually went on the Concept 2 and whatever. So let's hope that doesn't happen today, because frankly, I don't think I have the brain cells to make that happen. In fact, we can go through that process now, so because I can talk to you a little bit while I do it. Okay, so it's probably going to go, possibly the stream's going to go a little bit kaplooey as I do that. Yep, there you go. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to connect my heart rate monitor first. So if I go to connect HRM, I'm going to use my watch, set that to row indoor. It's just the Garmin Epix Pro Gen 2, in case you care. And I'm actually just going to set it, because I always forget to hit go on it. So I'm going to start, even though we're still 10 minutes away from the start of the actual row, I'm going to hit start, because I'm a terrible one for forgetting to actually hit go. So next up is connecting the rower. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this in the main row, just in case people turn up late, but just so that you, what am I trying to say? Yeah, just so you can see how it works. So the WaterRower that I use has the smart row pulley, okay? So you have basically, you can either get the little S4 Bluetooth module or whatever Bluetooth module it is on a WaterRower, but I prefer the smart row pulley because it's the data's a lot more precise off it, so and everything else, and I like it. So yes, the smart row pulley. However, you have to connect an app for that to work. So if I go to the app, they've got beta for Apple Watch, but I don't have an Apple Watch anymore. Got rid of my Apple Watch because I got fed up of having to charge it every single night. This thing, the Garmin, the Epix Pro that I'm talking about, I can go run about 2.5, 3 weeks between charges on this, and I use it all the time. If you check out my Strava, you'll see how much training I do, and you can see just how much I'm getting this, and it still lasts 2 weeks. Quite how Apple have such a rubbish battery life is beyond me when something like this is just as doing just as much work, but lasts so much longer. Anyway, sorry. So, Smart Row app. An important thing if you are using it is to set it to just row rather than a time or something, because that can then run out. Oh, Stephen Gurley, all working well. Thank you very much, Stephen, for it's always nice to know that something works. Anyway, right, so a little light pull on the handle just to wake up the pulley, and it should see it. I think it has, but if I go into settings, it will say Smart Row connected, which is good. Heart rate monitor not connected, but that's because I've connected to there. And the important part that I forgot about that time was making sure to broadcast it to EXR. So if I select EXR, I know you can't see it, I'm waving it at you, but if I select EXR and then apply, when I now go to connect rower, you can see Smart Row. So it is a bridge that basically the pulley connects to the phone and the phone connects to the Mac rather than it being a direct connect. Still haven't spoken to them about what they prefer me to use, so I'll carry on with the rower, because I think, especially when you're using the Smart Row pulley, that's bang on. And then, so I have the rower connected, I have my heart rate connected, do finish, and then you can see that we're not starting in 15 minutes though, big guy, we're starting in 8. So anyone else who's joined in and watching, just start doing some light rowing to warm up or whatever. We're going to do, as always, I'm going to start this off the way I always do, which is like the first 10 minutes or so, I'm going to ease myself into the row, just thinking about technique and all that stuff, and then the 20 minutes to follow, then kind of increase it. That's kind of the ballpark. I might go a little bit faster sooner, might go a little bit faster later. It's a Sunday evening, and frankly, I mean, look at it's so what we, August the 25th today, yes. August the 25th, which is still technically summer, isn't it? And I'm here in a fleece because it's so cold. It's miserable outside. It's just been raining cats and dogs all day long. It's like 11, 12 degrees. This is meant to be summer. Now, I know that obviously there's going to be people around the world who are like looking out the window right now and it's blue sky and not a cloud in sight, and you've got all the air conditioning on in the world. But yeah. Oh, there only seems to be 3 people here. What's going on with that? Or maybe it's because I'm up at the front. 1, 2, 3, maybe there's more. I can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. It says 87, but, oh, someone else. But I don't think there's going to be 87. It's what we need to do is go to and my heart rate is not, see, as much as I'm talking about how much I like the Garmin, see, when it comes to just sitting here and doing stuff, it's a little bit rubbish at low rates, because it's not, if I go, right, I'm going to do a 10-second count of my heart rate, all right? I'll give it, hang on 1 minute, okay. Okay, so that was 6 beats in 10 seconds. So that's, yeah, 36, which is what I'd expect. Excuse me. I've got quite a low resting heart rate, so I'm usually around about 40. So quite, why my watch thinks I'm up at 120 right now is beyond me. It settles down once I start exercising. I don't know whether it's just that it can't quite compute with the fact that I've got such a low resting heart rate, but surely that's not right. But it does. Once I get going, it's absolutely fine. Or it's got something to do with the amount of Ronado, good name, with the amount of Bluetooth signals that I've got bashing around the studio in here. There's CBDB. Have you said hello in here? Oh, you have as well. Hi, hi CBDB. How are you? A few other people have. Chris Runwine, you were here last week as well. I remember that name because we had a little. Because you're like, no, I'm not you. Hi, all. Quick reminder to sync your clock with a time server. Ah, yes. If you're having issues with sync, so if you're watching this on YouTube, take a look at the time for my countdown and your countdown. And if it's wildly, I mean, it'll probably be about 5 or 6 seconds out, but if it's wildly inaccurate, then chances are you need to sync your clock with a time server. There's Grace. Hi, Grace. Oh, good to see you here. Hope you enjoyed the road today. CBDB still listening to the Olympic Spotify playlist through the bone conducting earplugs. Earplugs rather than the kind of, I was always intrigued by the bone conducting stuff. I run with the OPEX kind of over-ear ones that are fantastic. It's like witchcraft, really. Right, we're 4 minutes to go, and have a quick drink. No coffee today because it's 5 o'clock in the evening here, and I'll never get to sleep if I have coffee. So this is lots on in my view. All right, okay. I don't really want to start messing around with my views to. I will eventually, but at least listen. Chris Run Wine sees lots of people, so. Is that boat gone by really fast again? Is that just like going round in loops? Yeah. So no coffee. So I've got my little. This is a mixture of electrolytes, branched chain amino acids, taurine, beta-alanine, and something else. Basically, see what this is? This is a marketing genius. Somewhere, someone could have said, "Hey, let's have all these little bits of powder, charge a little bit of it," and idiots like me will pay lots of money to make my own drink out of it. Whereas really, all I really need to do is have a big thing of water with maybe some like Ribena in it, a little pinch of salt, and a little bit of sugar, and that would be just as good. But because I'm buying all these anines and taurines and citrulline and whatever, I think it's going to improve me. But you never know, it might do. I certainly noticed a difference. Sorry, excuse me, I got an itch. Certainly noticed a difference when I've not been taking creatine in terms of like performance and recovery, and even kind of muscles, kind of because they whatever. Read up about creatine, right? Marco Wolf is here. Hey ho. Chris Run Wine. If you have Garmin watch, it flicks between wrist and strap. If you have one on, no, I don't know. It tries to be clever and get the most accurate value. Maybe showing wrist. No, it's all from wrist. But it will. You'll see it'll settle down during the row. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm so flappy handy while I'm talking. Maybe if I tighten the strap as well. Where are we? 2 minutes to go, folks. So, like I said, there's Jürgen. I assume it's not Jürgen. I assume it's Jürgen. Good to see you. 94CE3930. I wonder if that's is that meant to be like, I don't know, Gase? No, whatever. Or maybe that's just you just typed in a random bunch of numbers when you're creating a username. Right, with a minute and a half to go, let's just do a quick, anyway, hello to everybody that said hello. I'll probably not be able to read out any more messages once we start rolling. Yeah, so make sure, in fact, actually, I remember this from last week, make sure your foot plates are set to the right height. And by right height, what I mean is that you get it so that the strap is covering the balls of your feet. It's not up at the kind of the bridge, the arch of your feet. But at the same time, like I was finding out last week, with these barefoot shoes, because there's like no heel rise at the back, I was actually just a little bit too low, and I found when I was trying to do a sprint at one point, it was grabbing my toes, kind of like cutting off the circulation to my toes almost. So yeah, make sure you're not too low, but lower is better than higher, is what I'm saying. If you're on a concert tour or something, make sure that your monitor is set at a decent height, but maybe you've got the EXR app playing at the same time, or YouTube or something, so who knows about that. And just have a little bit of a wiggle of your backside, just to make sure that you're comfortable on your seat. For the row, we're going to be here for half an hour, so you want to make sure you're comfy. Ease that pressure off your backside. And we're going to get ready to go in just under 30 seconds time. Remember, there is a 6 second-ish delay, so when I'm going here, you might already, like on YouTube, your counter should also be at like well below 0. So take a look at your counter now is what I'm saying. So I'm about to hit 10 seconds and you can see what's going to happen. So in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I am off. So I am just going to move, I think, I hope. Are we moving? I seem to be dead in the water. Why am I not moving? Why am I not moving? Why am I not moving? Come on. Right. Smart Row Pulley is not lighting up blue. Right, if I do start, I'll catch everyone up. It was nice to see everyone in the water. No. Oh dear. Smart Row's connected. I'm broadcasting to EXR. So why am I not moving? There we go. All right. What happened there? Now, does someone sitting next to me waiting for me? If they were, then then hello. This is, you know what's nice though, is I get to see who's in front and say hello as I pass people. So take it easy and warm up. Just spend a few minutes opening your body up, getting used to your knees pumping backwards and forwards. Start to think about that tilt forwards over your hips. Just open things up. Don't worry too much about performance here, unless you've been warming up for a while and you're like, I will perform, thank you very much, mister. Nice. Just find a rhythm at this point. Make sure to connect. Hi Diana, how are you? Good to see you. Ooh. And then gonna come up to Grace. Now, what I can't remember is whether Grace is just Grace or whether Grace is Grace Lara. Whether you're like a Wendy Ann. I used to work with someone called Wendy Ann, and she's like, my name is Wendy Ann, not Wendy. So I'm always a little aware of people's names. So went past CBDB as well. So these Sundays, I mean, both sessions, the 9 o'clock in the morning ones and these 5 o'clock ones, UK time obviously. There's no real format to them. They're just about rowing this half hour however you want, and everyone hopefully has some kind of company. There's possibly someone 1 or 2 seconds faster than you that you can hang on to, or I wouldn't say slow down, but hopefully someone has a buddy on the water. Maybe there's someone leading the pack that's out there trying to stay in front and they're not looking for a buddy. But I'm quite enjoying this row where I'm kind of working my way through the field. Oh, this is pretty. What we're on the EXR exploration map, aren't we? I think this is their newest course. It's quite pretty. Is that jellyfish? Are we going through a tunnel or something and that's jellyfish? Or is that a wall with lights? Who knows? It's nice anyway. But yeah, so it's not like these are, that I'm saying, right, what we're going to do is the entire thing at 2K plus 20 or whatever. It's entirely up to you each week how you want to row it. I mean, I've got loads of different 30-minute rows on the YouTube channel if you're looking for inspiration. In fact, you could look at the 30 days of 30-minute workouts, pick one of them, read what the session is, and then row like that on these. You don't need to do it following along with me on the video, but you can. I won't undersell my work. Oh, we're back out again. Oh. The one thing I do want to say, in fact, just because it's come to mind, because of saying about rowing at 2K plus 20, is just before the row started, I was talking about how this WaterRower is fitted with the Smart Row pulley and why I prefer that to the S4 or other Bluetooth modules for WaterRowers. And the reason is that because it's a force meter, the Smart Row pulley, and it knows stroke length, it's a lot more accurate than the S4 or the A1 module, which is just measuring how many times the blade spins round and strokes per minute. So it doesn't really matter for low rate stuff. So I find that if I, sorry about that, that was loud. So I just turned on the monitor here on the WaterRower, and it has me at, let's see, 201 pace right now, which is 5 seconds faster than I'm actually rowing on the Smart Row. And it doesn't really matter as long as you're comparing like for like. I mean, certainly it doesn't matter if you're comparing this pace to a Concept 2, but where it really does come into play is when it comes to sprints, that the A1 is exponentially faster, and it will give you a pace that's kind of like 5 to 10 seconds faster than the Smart Row would. And that matters when it comes to adding on that 20 seconds for a 2K training pace. You know what? I'll shut up now about that, because I think I got a bit bored halfway through what I was saying there. You don't care about that, do you? Let me know if you, if you want me to get into the maths of the A1 monitor versus Smart Row, then I will. Whew. Okay, we'll not really talk technique, so let's do that for a quick couple of minutes, because you should be nicely warmed up by now. Should have that hip swing going on, because remember, as you come into the front of the machine, you want your arms straight and relaxed, shoulders relaxed and out of your ears, which is quite important. What can help there is a slight outwards rotation of your elbows, which will then lower your shoulders and engage your lats, and it'll help with that nice relaxed feel with your arms. Maybe you want your fingers hooked over the handle. It's not a death grip. Everything's nice and relaxed with the arms. In fact, it can help handle-wise that as you come forwards, if you just wiggle your fingers, play the piano, it gets you out of the habit of gripping for dear life. Anyway, arms straight at a neutral height. Luckily the WaterRower, because of the wood in front of me, I can't really go too low as I come forwards. I'm kind of primed at the right height, whereas Concept 2s, you can go like really low. And the reason you don't want to do that is because as you raise your handle, what tends to happen is people open their back way too soon. Because as you come forwards, with those relaxed arms, handle at a neutral height, you want to have a forwards tilt towards the front of the machine. Not too much, you're not pancaking into the front, but enough that it's like 1 o'clock on a clock face. And then you roll forwards until your shins are vertical. Try not to go past vertical because you'll just leak power. And then holding your forwards tilt and straight arms, push the machine. Talk to me, Goose. Sorry, there's someone called Goose who's just turned up on screen. Talk to me, Goose. Sorry, yes, push the machine away with your feet. Push. So hold, forwards tilt, straight arms, push with the feet. And that will get the power from your legs, through your body, into your shoulders, into the handle, and you will hang, brace off the handle. You don't pull. You keep those arms nice and straight, brace against the handle as you push your legs. If you have to pull at the front, then you have your drag factor or resistance too high. You want to use your legs at the front, and then you swing your back, all with straight arms, and then you only pull the arms in as your legs come to a finish. Your backswing finishes at 11 o'clock, and then you pull. So it should, all three should finish at the same time-ish, but they should also overlap. So legs, body, arms, okay? And then you want to be nice, fluid here with the release of the handle again. So you pull in, handle comes out instantly, triggers that forwards tilt over your hips, and then only when arms are straight and you are in that forwards tilt do you bend your knees to effortlessly roll into the front of the machine. Because a combination of the inertia, momentum even, of your arms going forwards and your body going forwards, plus most rowing machines have a slight downwards angle. That means you can roll to the front without needing to pull on your foot straps. Right, it's just a sprint coming up. I might increase, was it 600 meters? Okay. I'm going to increase pace here then, maybe not sprint, but, and we'll compare what the Smart Row says my pace is versus the A1. We'll go back to that again. So I am let's try and get to 150 pace. Yeah. So 150 from Smart Row,
And actually, 143 from the A1. It's not actually a huge difference. I expected more. Maybe if there's a 100-meter sprint at one point that I can properly unload into. We'll compare what like 135 on smart rows like. Oh. Remember, when you're going faster, it's a combination of a bigger push with your legs and a higher stroke rate. So I've gone from 20 to 26. And just really taking an extra 6 strokes every minute will have been the lion's share for why I'm rowing 10, 15 seconds faster per 500 meters. Right, just going to ease off, recover a little bit. I'm going to have a drink. So, for those interested in longer distance or longer times on the rowing machine, that's my advice. I just showed you it. For if you want to drink, is that you, if you can, depending on the machine you're on, rather than stopping fully, I've got to pick the pace up again. Rather than stopping fully, just move one hand to the middle of the handle and then row like that while you pick up your water bottle with the other hand and have a quick drink. 2 or 3 strokes at a reduced pace. You'll still lose a couple of seconds, obviously, but nowhere near as much as if you actually put the handle down to have a drink. And plus, see, when you're doing a marathon, unless you actually need to stop because of discomfort or something, I really don't recommend stopping, because see, when you're like 2 hours in, if you stop, have a drink, when you start up again, your body's like, what? Thought we were done. And can argue a little bit with you in terms of how it feels. But then, everybody's different. I mean, I used to really clang the bell when it came to interval training, that it's important, like if you're doing 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off, 8 times, I've always been the kind of guy that'll say, make sure to completely stop in the 2-minute rests, because you want your body to recover and you don't want to be using energy in the rest period that you should really be putting in to the main row. But during one of my recent series, I think it was the Get Fit by Rowing maybe, I was investigating just doing very light rowing in the rest periods, and actually I changed my tune. I think do your hard interval, stop for a few seconds if you need to have a drink, but then pick up the handle and carry on at like a very light intensity. I don't mean back up to full whack. But again, everyone's different, so you do what works for you. It's the same with training plans, ones that are designed around a 2K pace, or ones that are based on heart rate zones. Neither are particularly better than the other, but both of them rely on accurate metrics. Now let's see what this sprint coming up is. Hopefully it's a short one and we can, 150. Okay, I'll give this one welly then. I'll keep my mouth closed and sprint. So 1:36 smart row, 1:28 on the A1. So, actually, not as divergent as I said at the beginning. Just give me a second. It's been one of those days. I've spent all day tidying the house because it's such a rainy day outside. Kind of going through cupboards and drawers, throwing out that big bunch of cables, old audio cables and SCART plugs, things that I know I'm never going to need until I can guarantee in 2 weeks' time something will come up that I'll need an old SCART plug for. But it's been one of those kind of not super active days, but always on the move. And then I sat down at my desk for a couple of hours editing the drum recording that I just made for the band I'm in, their new single. So it's nice to be doing some exercise. You can see like my heart rate is still, I don't know what I got up to during the sprints, but 122, which is the top end of zone 2 for me. 125 is when I tip into zone 3. And the important thing is, this goes back to what I was just talking about with selecting your training programs and accuracy, is that if you live by the sword, you row by the sword. So if you want to do heart rate based training and the workout for that day says 30 minutes zone 2, you make sure to stick to zone 2. Don't tickle zone 3 and think, oh, it's fine. That's not the point. These plans are designed in a proper way. However, if you find you're getting no value from the zone 2 stuff, chances are your numbers, like the max heart rate you're basing your training off, probably isn't your max, either because you've used the 220 minus your age formula, or because you did a max test but didn't actually go to max. And it's the same with a 2K based training plan, is that if you don't put in absolute everything to your 2K time trial, then the numbers you'll be training from won't be accurate. And yeah, you will still see improvements, but not as big as if you were working off the right numbers. I think that's one of the reasons I've kind of really gone into the zone 2 heart rate stuff. It's just because that zone 2 is easy to kind of gauge by out of breath. You know you're exercising. You can hold a conversation, but it doesn't feel hard. It doesn't feel really easy either. In fact, I started doing my zone 2 training rows with nasal breathing, so mouth shut. And just breathe through your nose. And it's funny how it just gets you to that perfect intensity for a zone 2 heart rate that if you find you can't row at that pace and breathe through your nose, you'll find that if you just back off the pace a little bit, you'll be able to, and actually your heart rate will then fall into the proper zone 2 range rather than, like I say, tickling into zone 3. Oh, where are we? Oh, a minute and a half to go. I've got to quickly pack in my TV viewing and what I had to eat last night. Had a lovely chorizo and pepper and spinach pasta last night. Gorgeous. Way too much, but it was lovely. And started to watch the Matt Damon, Casey Affleck film, The Instigators, but it's just not quite gripping enough. So turned it off halfway and finished off series 3 of Slow Horses instead, which was much more gripping. Oh, is that because my timer stops because I didn't? Yeah, all right. So we're 20 seconds short because it took me so long to get started because of the smart wheel thing. Oh, yeah, so I started watching The Instigators again at lunch today, and it's still just, I don't know what it is. It's funny, isn't it? How some films, it's a great idea, great actors, great concept, but there's just something about it that didn't click, didn't gel. Right, so I'm going to put in a thank you. Thank you. Oops, thank you 1. No. Exclamation mark, please. Thank you. Ah, there we go. Right. So that was it. That was our half-hour row done. think it was, I'm trying to do a review. Maybe it wasn't as random and all over the place as normal. I was kind of talking more about technique and training, but maybe you want to hear that. You never know. What does Marco Will says? Nice one. Until next time. Thanks for coming, Marco. Gavin Rowland, nice steady one today, John. Thanks for these live rows. Really enjoy them. I'm glad you do. I mean, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I mean, as long as I'm always here on a Sunday morning or a Sunday evening, then I'll carry on doing them. I mean, certainly they'll be going every single week until October, which is when the kids have their half term. So it might be that 2 of those Sundays we across either side of that, I don't do one. I don't know. Depends because I don't want to be like the kids want to do something fun, and I'm like, oh no, I've got to go and row. So who knows for that? But certainly until mid-October, we'll continue this flip-flop of the morning and in the evening. So I hope to see you when you can make them. Remember that they also all end up in the live tab on the YouTube channel. So if ever you're kind of like you've missed it, you can either come back or you can say, I want to go and listen to one of the. Well, I mean, why would you? One of the previous ones. So. It's up to you. It's all there. The YouTube channel has hundreds of workouts if you didn't know about it. If you thought that all I did was these live ones, I don't. The channel's mostly based around workouts and plans that you can do yourself. I got distracted because that was Robert saying goodbye, and has been I like to quit. I like to read out the messages when I get them. There we go. Right. What's Robert saying? It'd be funny if he's like, I'm never coming back. 87 rowers on the water. Well done to everyone and the Great Rowing Company. Cheers for the commentary, John. It's a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed it. Right. I actually have the outro of this song still to edit. So I'm going to take an early finish and not talk away for hours on end at the end of this. And so I'm going to kind of say goodbye so I can get that done. So I have to cook dinner tonight for the family. They're all away at swimming club, and they're leaving me at home to cook dinner, which tonight is actually thinking about it, I didn't think smart. We went to a farmer's market yesterday and they were selling like little artisan pies. And Julie got a chicken and pulled pork. But then the rest of us all got chicken and chorizo. And as being I had the pasta last night was chicken and chorizo. Didn't really think about that. But anyways, that with broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, sweet potato. So healthy apart from the pie. But I have to go and cook that and do a little bit of drum work. And hey, you never know. Someday I'll be famous. I don't really think anyone wants this age. It's funny how, like I said this last week about individualism. I know I said I was going to go, but I'll finish on this. On how it's like the Bruno Mars, Taylor Swift, all the kind of individual people. It's no longer bands. It's not, like, fair enough, you do get like Foo Fighters and Coldplay. They're kind of, but it seems, Anyway. I don't know where I'm going with that, but right, I'm going to go do continue on here, and it should give me my summary. You can see the 2 sprints that I did in case you've never seen this part of EXR before, in case you just do the rowing on YouTube. Yeah, stop rowing, I'm all done. Way, save session to Strava. Right, okay, so I'm going to come back into here, and then I'm going to hit stop streaming once, and then it'll say, are you sure you want to? And I'm like, of course I do, that's why I hit stop streaming, you idiot. But you never know. I could have accidentally done it. You never know. Anyway, right. Just like last couple of things on the comments, and I'm going to say goodbye. Perfect hour. It's 7 p.m. here. Oh, okay. Thanks for coming, Grace. It's great to see you on the virtual water. So yeah, great to see you. Greg H, that was tiring. Thanks all. Gavin Rowland says have a great evening. Paul Gale says thank you. This was great. First time. Thanks for coming. And CBDB. Says thanks everyone. So last word comes from CBD. So yeah, thanks so much for joining me for this one. Please have a fantastic week coming up. Look after yourselves. Hopefully the weather will improve here. And I will see you, remember it's 9 o'clock in the morning next Sunday for the Rise and Row with RowAlong if you're able to make it. And I'll hopefully look forward to seeing you soon, or you seeing me, because obviously I can't see you, that would be weird. But yeah, look after yourselves everybody, and I will see you next time round, okay? So 3, 2, 1.